Je m'appelle Kim Logan et je suis américaine. Et c'est Martin Zissel, il est parisien. Et je suis chanteuse, je suis écrivain, je suis compositeur. I moved to Paris in May of this year and started a band. And it's something I've always wanted to do and kind of took a gamble and tried it out and ended up finding my favorite band that I've ever had, including Martin, guitariste de steel guitar, and Myriam Stamoulis, bassiste, a bit of a revolving door of drummers. This year we've worked with Margot Cotten, Paul Cramet, and Jules Darmon, three very important musicians in the milieu, in the Paris rock and roll scene, and they've all been excellent, great drummers. We've all, at one point, been on tour with each other, and it's been a wild and fun year. It really has. Immédiatement, j'ai joué 4 concerts dans les premiers 4 jours, and I just stayed. I wasn't really sure how long I was going to stay, but I just stayed. And now, especially with the problems that America is having, and also just having already worked in America for so long, I really want to turn my attention to Europe and the UK, and I think spending a lot of time here is going to be good for me and good for everybody that I've been working with. And yeah, I was in Nashville for 6 or 7 years before I came here, and all throughout those years spending a lot of time in New York City as well. So between Nashville and New York was my routine, and now it feels like between London and Paris is our routine. I made my first album in Nashville in 2013, and after that, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, so I started talking to and working with beaucoup de producteurs. And because of my influences in different areas like blues or rock or very old classic country, not new country, but the old stuff that lives in Nashville, I ended up working with several different producers, and it became this little project called Pseudoscience. And it's an EP, it's a collection of singles. I think that some of it will be removed and redone, revamped for the next album that I do, which is gonna happen next year, which I'm super excited about. But the singles that we've put out last year and in 2017 aussi, they were all made in Nashville or Texas, and all made with a host of different musicians, ranging from just my best friends in Nashville to band members of Jack White's, and some of the most amazing musicians that I could find in Nashville. I took some musicians from Nashville to Austin, Texas to record a couple of those, and they're still some of my favorite songs that I've ever written, and I'm going to put them on the next record, songs like Lady Boy or Hitch Your Wagon or Better Way. They will be rebirthed, given some new life on the next album, and now they're all being played by Les Silhouettes. So yeah, they're very much a part of what I'm doing now, along with other things that are yet to come. I did school in America in several different cities, Boston, New York, Nashville, and I've been singing opera since I was 9, so I've never wanted to stop. It's really healthy for my voice, really good for my training, keeping me strong and healthy vocally. And I would love to eventually sing opera in Paris and in the UK. It's kind of a long-term goal. I did the better part of a decade of the big American cities, played a lot in Chicago, played a lot in my hometown and home state of Florida, and just wanted something a little more, I think, and that's why I came over here. But But I go back to the States as much as I can to keep playing and keep hanging out and see my friends. I miss my friends. Couleur Café is the first time that I've released something as Kim Logan, as myself, doing a project in French. And it was so much fun. And there wasn't a single French person around when I was doing it. I was doing it in Nashville and New York with my musicians that I grew up with in Florida called the Hydromatic. And we did it all straight to tape, an analog recording with my friend and guitar player in the States, Jossie Hughes. And recorded it. It was just a kind of spontaneous decision to do a Serge Gainsbourg song because I've always loved Gainsbourg so much. And then it turned into a big crazy project with the film school in Sarasota that they approached me to do a music video. And I couldn't think of any of my own songs that I wanted to do a music video for at the time. And I thought, oh man, maybe we can do Couleur Café, and it ended up being like this tiny opera. There was a set, there was a cast, there was costumes and a narrative through the whole thing, and it was really, really cool. J'ai reçu beaucoup de suggestions, c'est le même mot? Oui. De mes amis et de les autres musiciens ici, comme Françoise Hardy et quelques chansons de Yeye ou des autres classiques de Gainsbourg ou quoi d'autre?
Peut-être du Jane Birkin ou du
oui.
Françoise Hardy.
Ouais, Françoise Hardy et even Charlotte Gainsbourg. Oui, j'aime beaucoup le seul album, je crois, de Carla Bruni. Et elle n'a pas écrit les chansons, mais elle a enregistré beaucoup de classiques des autres écrivains français. And I love songs like J'en connais, ce qu'elle a fait, et aussi what's the one serait-ce possible alors? Quelqu'un m'a dit, oui. One of those, maybe I would try.
Qui a été produit par Louis Bertignac, il me semble.
Oui. Et j'ai découvert beaucoup de groupes français que j'aime beaucoup depuis mon temps ici, and like Telephone, or I really like this band Triggerfinger. I saw them; they're a cool rock band, and I saw them in the basement of the Palais de Tokyo, and I've been able to meet some really cool producers here that have inspired me to look into bands like Dionysos or M, or really for the first time understanding French pop music or rock music in the last 30 years, and it's fascinating. So I think that Martin and I will definitely be considering some further French language songs. Le féminisme dans le milieu du rock, c'est très important, bien sûr, mais c'est encore difficile. It's ever present. It's not going to change overnight. That, especially with our current government climate in America, the EU, the UK, c'est la même histoire partout. And women are always going to have to work twice as hard to get the same recognition as long as this generation of patriarchy is still alive. So until all the old men who don't think women can do as much as men can, until they're dead, we're going to have to be working harder to get the same amount of credit. And my adolescence in being a woman in rock prepared me for that. And I understand that. And that's why sometimes I have to be a real bitch on the road. Sometimes I have to be really tough and much more of a gangster than I think I naturally would be, but it's made me smart, and it's made me cunning, and it's made me prepared to stand up for what I'm worth and what my band is worth, and you're not going to be able to trick me. And I think that that's possibly one of the most important things that's come out of the struggle of being a woman in rock. I'm still in my honeymoon phase with Europe, I think, and I'm always so excited to go anywhere new that I haven't been. And just this year, we have been so many places. And I think that it's been really fun because the band, I know you've always wanted to be in the UK more and travel more to the land of the hobbits and the elves. And we've had a blast. We've been to the south of France this year, Cannes. We've been to Scotland. We've been to England. We've been all over the place. And in the new year, we have plans to go to, we've been to Belgium this year. We want to go to Normandy next year and maybe the Netherlands. And really, I'm just still so happy to be traveling anywhere that it's hard to choose a favorite. But I love the UK. Bourbon, probably. What about you?
Same.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's why we get along.
And why?
I grew up drinking bourbon because my parents drink bourbon, and it's intense. It's one of the stronger alcohols that you can have, and not a whole lot of people in France have bourbon regularly or even really understand it. I've tried to stop drinking so much bourbon because it's intense. And brown liquor can do funny things to you. My family has a house in New Hampshire, in the far north of the northeast of America, and the tradition to go into this old house, I think the house is like 110 years old now or something like that, doesn't matter what time of day it is, when you walk in the house, you have to take a shot of bourbon, and that's the tradition. So it's a family thing for me. And then when I met Martin, I realized that he was a French person, a French guy who also drank bourbon and liked bourbon. It's kind of rare, so it's perfect. We're happy to get a bottle of bourbon if we really want to party. I think just because I'm an opera singer and a weird kind of theater person, that I would be like a masquerade or something, like a costume party, or like a spectacle of some sort, like a masquerade ball. Yeah. Obviously with music. That goes without saying. Pas de question pour ça. But yeah, a masquerade.